it's Anne McDowell, Fredpreneur, coming to you on day 28 of my 30-day video challenge. It's coming near the end, everybody. I'm going to talk to you today about taking back your power. What does that mean? That means that I'm going to start talking to you today about how you not allow things to get in your way and to reclaim your power as an individual over life. The caption I read this morning, and I'll read it to you, is, "It has long since come to my attention that people of accomplishment rarely sat back and let things happen to them. They went out and happened to things." And that is a quote by Leonardo da Vinci. One of the things about successful people is that they make things happen for themselves. It's rarely just given to them or bestowed on them like you might think. It appears that way, but what they actually do is they create circumstances so that things start to happen for them. They actually make the circumstances appear, and they actually make the circumstances occur so that they are put in the way of things to happen to them. Do you understand what I mean? What it is, it's called a locus of control. Now, that's a highfalutin term that I learned at uni that talks about whether you let the world happen to you or whether you happen to the world. Now, we have two types of locus of control. We have an internal locus of control and an external locus of control. When we have an external locus of control, it's very much a cup half empty kind of thinking pattern. And it's also very much, oh, everybody hates me, everybody's against me, everything I seem to touch goes wrong. You know, it becomes a victim mentality. And that means the external locus of control means that you allow everything else to control you. Do you understand what I mean? Can you think of times when that's happened to you? I know I can. I know I can. I know that's happened to me. But what it is what you need to think about is having a switch in your mind to having an internal locus of control, meaning that you look at the cup half full. And you look at, oh, I have power and influence over what happens in my life. Oops, I just dropped the camera there. I have power and influence over what happens in my life. And while I can't control every circumstance, I can certainly go a long way in making things happen. Now, when I talk to this a lot about this when I'm talking to the people who are long-term unemployed, they get into the victim mode quite easily, and it's quite understandable. And everybody goes through it. But what happens is the sign of successful people is that they immediately recognize that they're in victim mode, and they give themselves maybe a couple of days to, have a pity party, but they then make constructive avenues to get out of that hole. And they go, right, I'm in a rut, I'm in a hole, I don't like being here, I am going to do everything I can to move myself out of this circumstance. I am going to start thinking positively. And it will be, and when you start to think, all of these things kind of, and I've talked about this before, but all of these things kind of fall into place because you're talking then to yourself and in operating on a higher frequency. When you are choosing to be happy, choosing to be positive, choosing not to let, the broken heater or your broken down car affect you long term. You might be upset about it for a couple of hours, but then you go, right, okay, we can do this and this, and let's move on. When you look at that and you you start to then teach yourself to just be positive, and that everything will work out fine, and there's no great conspiracy against you in the world, then you start to act on what we call a higher frequency and a higher plane, which means that you start attracting really positive things into your life. Have a think about it when you walk into a room full of people who are negative. It might be a negative work environment that you work in, and everybody in there is negative and they hate the place. How long is it before your good mood is equal in misery to theirs. Probably about 10 minutes, 20 minutes. What about the opposite? What if you go into a room full of high energy, vibrant, happy, excited people? You know, how long is it before you're not so, oh, you know, I don't still feel so great about the mood, and you're laughing and having a great time? How long is it until your mood's affected? Almost instantly. You give yourself a couple of minutes to warm up, and then you feel as excited as everybody else in the room. That excitement, that sort of choosing to be happy, is also part of this locus of control. And this locus of control is so important when you're in business and in life, because it allows you then to reflect on whether you're thinking in a negative way or thinking in a positive way. We have power and influence over what happens to us. And one of the things that you need to remember and start believing is that you might have had a series of incidences happen to you where it doesn't look very positive. But I can tell you it is positive. You just need to look for the silver lining in every cloud, like I do. And I've taught myself that. I haven't always been a sunshine personality all the time. You know, things do get me down occasionally, but I don't allow myself to wallow in them for very long. That's the difference. I say to myself, okay, right, you're in a negative state of mind right now. You're in an external locus of control where you're in victim mode. You need to snap out of it. Snap out of it. And basically that's what I do. So whether it be going into business, whether it be going into doing a new hobby, just getting out there and doing it, you need to start thinking in the way that successful people think. And that is with an internal locus of control where you have the control over everything that happens to you. You have power and influence because you do. You so do. You have the choice to wallow in self-pity, or you have the choice to be constructive about moving forward and going, yeah, I'm all over this problem. I can fix this. I'm a problem solver. So you have the choice. So choose to do something. Choose to get out there. Choose to, not worry about what people think. Choose to, have an adventure of your lifetime. If it's going into business, that's an adventure of a lifetime. Don't let other people control your future. And that's a really important message for today. So it's about taking back your power, realizing that you have power, and taking it back and going, I'm moving forward. I'm doing this and I'm making my life happen for myself. And I'm not letting anybody's negative influence affect me, because you know what? I'm me. I'm fantastic. I need to have this life for myself. And that's what you need to tell yourself. And, I know that once you start adopting that attitude and personality, it might be a little bit different to what you used to, but positive things are going to fly in and just, keep hitting you around the head. And that's what you want to have happen. You want positive life to happen to you while you're here. We only have one shot at this, so let's make the most of it. Remember, take back your power. It's called an internal locus of control, and it's something you have in your power. Okay, you have a great day, I hope. Okay, bye for now.